Good evening and welcome to this installment of the Sportsden Live. My name is Dominic Papa, and on tonight's show we're going to go a little bit off course. Every now and then we want to go one-on-one, and tonight we're going to do that, and very excited and pleased to have a tremendous basketball man with us here tonight. He guides the University of Windsor Lancers men's basketball team. They are going to the OUA Final Four this weekend in the nation's capital. Of course, I'm speaking of Chris Oliver. We'll get to him in just a moment. As I do each and every week, though, I want to give some shout-outs. Of course, best of luck to the Essex 73s and the Amherstburg Admirals. They've reached the Great Lakes Junior C Finals. That'll start tonight as we speak, so good luck to both of those teams. The Junior B Loop has the LaSalle Vipers doing very well against Strathroy, up 3-0 there, and also the Leamington Flyers, Tony Porosky and the gang, also up in their series, 3-0. The Windsor Express will kick off their basketball playoffs this coming Saturday against the Mississauga Power, so hopefully Coach Jones and the team there will get back to that promised land, of course, the championships, and defend their title. So good luck to Coach Jones and the Express. Also want to give a shout out to Chantal Vallée and the women's basketball team at the university, Kevin Hamlin and the hockey team. What a job they've done. Even though they didn't get back to the championship, they still have a chance to go to the CIs. Good luck to them this Saturday against McGill. And what can you say about the St. Clair College Saints, the men's volleyball team, just outstanding on the weekend, winning a silver medal. Congratulations to Rob Lynch and the gang there, and to the entire St. Clair College staff, hosting a tremendous provincial championship tournament. And Andy Kiss and the ladies team at St. Clair College, the basketball team, also going to the Final 8. So good luck to them this weekend up at Centennial College. That's enough shout-outs, I guess. Coming up here on WeTV, a couple of great events to make sure you want to tune into. Of course, next week, out at the St. Denis Center, also at St. Clair College, is the OFSA Quad A Basketball Championships. WeTV will be there for 2 days, thanks to Coach Chris Oliver. We'll be going out there on Tuesday. We'll be broadcasting 6 games on the Tuesday, March 10th, and then we'll have 2 more on the morning of March 11th. There you can see the OFSA Basketball Championships live from the St. Denis Center here on WeTV. So hopefully you could join us for that, and we certainly look forward to working with Coach Oliver and the gang there at the university and putting on a good presentation. Also, what else do I got coming up? I think that's it for this week. That's enough for this week, I think. Oh, the Westby Awards. That's right. That thing called the Westby Awards. I know a little bit about that. They're going to hold their press conference this coming Friday morning at 11 a.m. to announce all the details of the 10th annual Westby Awards. Of course, Coach Oliver, a former Coach of the Year from the Westby Awards. March 6th at 11 a.m. We'll have a live press conference for you. You'll get all the details on the 10th anniversary of the Westby Awards. Hopefully you can join us for that as well. Thanks, Christina, for the plug there. Let's get into it. We're going to talk some basketball today. The Windsor Lancers men's basketball team, just tremendous, on a nice roll right now. Is it a 6-game winning streak, Coach Oliver?
I think we're up to 7 now with the
7?
playoff win, yeah.
Okay, I didn't count the McMaster game, which shame on me, but they're on a nice roll going into the Final Four. Again, it starts this Friday. The Lancers will be in tough. They'll play Ottawa the first game. But you know what? I think Coach Oliver's got this team going in at the right time, peaking at the right time. Thanks for coming in tonight, Chris. Really appreciate it. And certainly, I know you're so busy right now with so many things. The OFSA Basketball Championship, taking care of your own basketball team, and giving us some time here is really appreciated. Okay, first, before we get into all of that, let's take a look at the season. I believe you ended up 15-5 this year.
Yep.
Ranked number 5 in the country. Won some big games. Lost a couple games that I know you weren't too happy about, but overall, pretty successful year.
Very happy with our year and very proud of our guys. I thought they did a tremendous job from the beginning of the year in defining our culture. I know we've talked about that a lot, but we've just turned over so much of our roster that there was a little bit of uncertainty about how good we would be early. But this group from the get-go was real good. We beat another Division I team, and then from there, again, undefeated in the preseason and got our ranking where it was, basically around 5 for most of the year. And now after beating McMaster, we're probably arguably number 4 in the country, although I haven't seen any rankings since. But we're going into a Final Four where I cannot imagine a more difficult Final Four with 4 ranked teams and all 4 being 1-4 in the country. And what a great opportunity for us as we continue to play basketball into March.
One reminder for our viewers, if you want to chime into the show, you're welcome to join us. You can tweet in at our contacts on Twitter. There it is, at Sportsden Live. And if I get a chance, I'll read some of the questions or comments you have for Coach Oliver, and we certainly would like to get you involved. You mentioned the turnover of players, Coach Oliver, and then I go right back at it with Rotimi Alcintula and Evan Matthews, the mainstays. Those guys obviously had to maybe even bring their game to another level this year to help those new guys, new faces in your lineup.
No question, and they've both done that. I mean, Rotimi should be an all-Canadian. Obviously, it's a political process, so I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. But
No politics in sports, is there?
none. But just a tremendous year. I mean, offensively and defensively. I mean, as good as anyone in the country as a two-way player, and some might say defensive player of the year as well. Not just in terms of what he's done on the court, but certainly what he's shown off the court is that. That proper attitude, his ability to be able to mesh with the culture of what our team's trying to do, and certainly his desire to be able to define his own legacy as a player. And he's been tremendous in that way for us. And I think against the best teams we've played all year, he's been at his best as well, which is what you want from one of your best players. And
it's amazing. I remember him coming in as a freshman, and he had some other avenues that he could have taken, but he wanted to stay home. He wanted to stay close to his family. I think that all factored in him staying here at Windsor. Did he pan out, or has he developed the way you projected? Or maybe even beyond?
Beyond, I think, at this point. Again, he had a great first year. He played a lot his first year. He started some games, and he meshed in well with the group that he played with. And then I think the next 2 years, he kind of had some ups and downs. And I think a lot of that comes to, his development as a person and as a player and balancing all the academics and, the social and everything else he's dealing with. But, he's put it all together this year, and, we're real proud of him. And, you mentioned Evan Matthews.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a guy right away. I mean, if I'm someone in our community, I would hire him without even knowing what his degree is, just because of the type of person he is. And so much of what he's represented is what I would say I would want all my players to be as part of a member of the Lancer community, as a part of the Windsor community itself, and just how he carries himself as a person is tremendous. But, the underrated part for us is that him as a rim protector is probably the biggest reason why we've been so good defensively. And, you mentioned that stretch where we struggled. Well, not surprisingly, that correlated with Evan being injured. And, he lost some of his conditioning when he sat out a few games. And, he's back in fine form. And I had a number of people, well-respected coach, Coach Razzo, that used to coach McMaster, told me after watching that MAC game that he thought that was the best defensive game Evan's ever played. And I would agree, and that's one of the reasons we're sitting here today talking.
Yeah, fair to say with Evan, maybe a little bit of a slower process to find his game at the OUA level or the CIS level for that matter?
Well, for sure. I mean, big guys usually take a little longer to develop, and he played he came in and played behind Nigel Johnson-Tyter and Leon Phillip, and some real good players
pretty
as well.
Good guys,
yeah, pretty good players. But I think just from his background as well, where he didn't really have as high performance background in basketball because he played hockey for so long of his life that he got into basketball seriously really much later in his high school career and just got involved in club and some of the different AAU, again, not till kind of his last year or so. And nowadays most good players are playing AAU and club ball from 5th grade, 6th grade on. So I mean, for Evan, certainly there was a competitive part that was already there, which we didn't have to develop, which helps a lot. But in terms of the skills and the understanding of the game and all those different things, it did take him a little